and
Yeah. People always ask me like, what, Jonah, what's the best recruiting tactic? What do I say? Well, you know what the best recruiting tactic is? It's showing them bank deposits, showing them actual real numbers.
whatever. I've done
Absolutely.
and I've done that multiple times, even when I wasn't making much money, to show them the progression, because then they have FOMO almost. Like, damn, I could have got in with him when I started, and now he's at X amount when he was showing me bank account statements from when he was at this point. So just consistency.
I've never heard it put like that, but yeah, showing them the progress and the leveling up and the progression of yourself in the business as well. what would you what would you say to the people that are 2 months into this, or maybe they're a year into this, however the case may be, but they just don't know how to approach their war market. They don't know how to get started or preface that conversation with people that
Yeah.
they think would be a good fit in this opportunity.
It's really I would say warm market specifically, it's just simply just it's almost like a sale in itself. Like you're filling out the FI, but in person. As in, what do you like about your job? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you making the income that you want to make? Do you like working for somebody else? Do you like having specific hours or going to an office that you hate with the people that you don't like? And it's really just doing an FI, basically, just figuring out what that person likes about this job or hates about this job, whether it's a right fit for them, and then essentially giving them an option of, okay, well, this is what this provides, and just be super blunt. As in, yeah, you have autonomy with your schedule. You are able to make your own income, but you're going to grind in your first 3 months, 6 months, your first year. If you put your head down and actually put in the numbers and the reps, you can change your whole trajectory. And not a lot of people are willing to do that. And it's just being super, I would say, raw with that person and telling exactly what the nitty gritty requires, but also all of the pros compared to being like a W-2 or this and that, or whatever position that they're currently in that they're not enjoying. But I would say a lot of my recruits came from the gym, because I just have a good personal relationship with a lot of my boys in the gym, that they knew they wanted to be successful, or they just wanted something more, but they just didn't have the opportunity, didn't have the vehicle, didn't have somebody to reach out that hand and just show them a better opportunity, and that they can trust, and that they know that that person is doing X amount because they knew that person before, and now this person is making X amount of money. Now they're going to be like, why not me?
That was a good way of describing it. So just give them a raw, unfiltered view of the business, the pros, the cons, let them know what you're doing. But also, just like a sale with a client, lead with questions and hit them with questions. Because
100%.
I'm guilty of this myself, where I think a lot of us coming into the business where we're like, dude, this changed my life, and we're excited, we're hyped up. So we're like, hey, this and this, and you need to do it because of this, and it's really awesome. You're gonna make all this money, and we don't ask any questions, and we don't figure out what's even important to them. Because the reason that I got in might not be the reason that so and so comes into the business. So
100%. Understanding their
that's
why.
phenomenal. Ronnie, let me ask you this. I've never asked you this before. What was your biggest struggle coming into this opportunity when you first started?
Honestly, focus. It was definitely focus for sure. I've never been put in a position where it's all up to me. As in, you, for example, I came from a W-2. Yeah, it might have been sales and this and that, but you're told what to do. You're told where to go. You're told to go to this client's house, and you're told to show up during a certain time. This is the first time where I've had to show up for myself, as in it's all up to me. Nobody's holding my hand, nobody's my dad, nobody's my manager, and this and that. We're all here to help each other, but I'm only going to get the support I need if I'm putting in the reps. And I would say my biggest struggle at first was to focus, as in just sit down, freaking dial, hit your numbers, and just pretty much stay in your seat until you're done. And I mean, my first month I did 25K, so I threw up some numbers, but I definitely had a huge learning curve. I was scrolling in between calls and this and that, and wasn't ultra intentional, I would say, but definitely focus.
Yep. And I think just look at this call. The majority of us on this call are high testosterone, 20-year-old males that are ADHD up the butt. And
Real.
so what helped you, or what some tips and just practical pieces of advice that you would give to the individual on the call that either helped your advice you'd give to them, so just to lock in and focus? Because that's everybody's biggest problem. Like, we could
Yeah.
focus, we'd have no problem. We all know what we need to do. The path is clear. It's just simply doing it.
I think it's two things. First thing is understanding your why. Like we're all here for a reason, whether that is to make a shit ton of money or retire a mom and dad or this and that or all of the above. So it's remembering, okay, am I here to dial and make money or am I here to scroll and watch movies and read books and this and that? Like we're here for a reason. And then the second step is creating some sort of intentionality and self-analytical enough where you're able to stop what you're doing or even set an app or something like this. So like, okay, cool. I'm gonna dial from 8 to 6. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put an app on my phone that doesn't allow me to access any of the apps that I've been scrolling on because I personally cannot stop doing it. So I need to have something stop it for me. So it's being just intentional like that. If you can't do it yourself, then literally just delete the problem.
Yeah, what you were showing me, like, you got a couple agents in your office where they don't even know the password. You
Oh
got the
yeah.
you know the password, and you got it set up on their phone.
Yeah,
Talk
no,
to us
I'm
about
locked in.
that.
Yeah, basically, some of my agents, I'm gonna shout out Blake. He's fucking killing it right now. He's like 3 weeks in, dude, he's killing it. But yeah, he has like ADHD or something. I don't know. That kid be scrolling. But I was the same way. So instead of doing it like figuring it out method, I'm just giving him the fast track to, okay, give me your phone. We're gonna block these apps, and I'm the only one who knows the password. And at the end of the day, I'll unlock it for you. You can do your shit.
That's amazing. What app is this called for anybody that wants to download it?
I think you can just do it on your iPhone. I don't know how he did it, but basically you can do it on iPhone settings where it locks certain apps for certain hours. And I just know the password, so I have to do it for him. It's in the settings.
Nice.
Yeah.
Carson said it's in the settings. Cool. What are some non-negotiables that you have for your agents that you've established with them in order to allow them to succeed?
Inputs for sure. Once you're getting in, you're doing your inputs, and that's required. Because if you're not doing your inputs, then we're not going to get X results. And I don't even know a standard of how to even help you. Because the first step is when you're in the process, everybody has a learning curve. Some guys might be an ultra killer, and some guys might need a lot of help. But the only way to figure that out is by putting in inputs. And then that's when we can break down every single little thing, such as how many dials, how many contacts, how many FIs you're getting into, how many closes. And then that's when we can pretty much make a plan from there. Like, okay, cool. You want to do 30K, then you need to do X, X, and X and X to get that result. So it's inputs for sure.
Okay. Let's say, Ronnie, I'm a brand new agent, and I come into your office and I say, hey, I want to get to $30,000 issue paid a month as quickly as possible. What are you telling me?
I'm gonna say depending on your skill level, let's say you're a medium closer, what 50%, something like that. To start. I don't know if that's high or low actually. But I'm saying the
Say
baseline
I'm
state,
average to below average.
okay, below average, probably 350 dials. You need to be getting probably about 35 contacts. And then I would say you need to be in about 15 FIs and about you need to be getting into about 7 presentations. And so you can get about 3 closes. And roughly your annual premium will probably be about 1,000, roughly. So about 3,000 times
Per
30.
day.
You need to get, yeah, about 3,000 AP per day if you want to do 30,000.
Yep. Yep.
So I
So
would say
basically,
that's what it looks like. And what that looks like is not every day is going to be like that, obviously. So what you can do to offset that is let's say you're doing your $300, but you're only at 10 contacts. Okay, cool. Let's make a QB level play and keep fucking dialing so you can get to those 33 contacts so you can get to those amount of FIs to those amount of closes. So some days you're gonna have to put in more, and just like you said, when you're giving our training, some days do one call, one close, super fatty deal. You do another one, another deal. And some days are like that, but some days you have to work till 10 to get those inputs. So it's just really about that grit.
yep. Yeah. Just it is number one. any new agent coming in is you have to develop a consistent schedule. If you're not consistent with your business will not pay you consistently. Guaranteed. Promise you. So schedule is number one, but above schedule, more importantly, like you were saying, Ronnie, are the inputs. And you have to get obsessed with the inputs. And so, for my inputs looked different when we were running in person, but it was booked appointments. And so I would book, they said back in the day, 30 appointments a week, equated to $40,000 a month, 8 each day. So I'm like, well, shoot, I'm so bad, I'm going to book 10, 11. And so whatever reason, I had better luck with the odd numbers and I was superstitious. So it was during the week was 11 appointments each day. So Monday I would dial for Tuesday, Wednesday, get 22 appointments, and I would not stop dialing until I had 22 appointments. You can ask Claudia. I went a year and a half, almost 2 years. Like there was not a single day I did not miss. And it was 22 appointments. And then Thursday I'm dialing for Friday, Saturday. And then Friday, Saturday get 11 Friday. And I would book between 13 to 15 on Saturday. And so, and it didn't, some days I'd get done dialing at 4, 5 o'clock. Some days I was going till 8, 9 o'clock, getting as many as I could. And so and then when I was in the field, I ran all of my appointments. And so it wouldn't matter there was days where I would write 10, 15 grand and I'd have monster days. And there's other days where I wrote 0.
Yeah.
Like I tell guys this, there was the months that I issue paid $100,000. There was days that I wouldn't make a sale. Where I'd go out there, leave my house at 7 a.m., drive to Wisconsin or Indiana or wherever I was running for that day, run all 11 appointments, get no showed, rescheduled, run into this, run into that. I'd come home at 0. So you may have a bad day, you may even have a bad week, but as long as you're consistent, you will never have a bad month. Guaranteed.
100%.
Yep. So Ronnie, talk to us about some upcoming goals you have for the next 90 days, 6 months over the course of this next year, 2025.
Yeah. I want to keep the gas pedal on production and stay in the trenches with my guys, because I think that's key for just building rapport with the newer agents who may not know me or this and that. Like, cool, he did it 3 months ago, but he doesn't write anymore. I want to still be in the trenches where they can still come to me and still see that I'm doing this. As well as I really want to focus heavy on building up my leaders within my team. I'm looking to find my legs. And for those who are newer and don't know what a leg are, it is essentially people who are a leader under me that I can place agents under, or they have people that they know and that they can fluidly, obviously, write enough business where the blind isn't leading the blind, where they can start their own team and start that. I would say roughly around, I don't want to drop anything low than 30K IP while still building and also maintaining my relationships with my agents and making sure that they're successful, because I don't think there's a point in creating a revolving door. As in, I don't want to just bring in agents and then just have them leave. It doesn't make sense. I want to focus on retention, and to focus on retention, I have to make sure that they're writing and making money. Now, to do that, I think I need to definitely spend a lot more time one-on-one on cultivating everybody, making sure that they're up to par, because I think the standard should be minimum 25K issue paid for every single agent. And if it's anything below that, then there's a problem and it's something needs to be fixed, because I don't think this industry makes sense for anybody, even at 100% comp, if you're doing anything less than 20.
Agreed. I'm agreed. That needs to be the standard. And you've done a good job of setting that standard so far with your guys. You had a few guys where they've done 20K their first month, 30, then 40. So talk about just everything. Just go over lead spend, schedule, work ethic, all the expectations that you're setting with those guys to allow them to hit the ground running their first month and issue pay 20.
Yeah, I would say for my newer agents specifically, I see a common trend of agents who can implement my my advice ASAP, from me telling it to them to the next call, they're already implementing it. They're going to be way more successful than the agent who waits to implement. As well as I see a common trend of people who spend more money on leads and get in front of more clients. They become more successful because they're beating the learning curve of sucking way faster compared to somebody who has maybe a scarcity mindset of, oh, I want to spend $100 or $200 on leads. I'm like, dude, when I started, I literally spent nothing less than $1,000 on a batch any single time. So it's like, I think as a new agent, your goal should be to get in front of many people as possible to beat that learning curve, whatever your skill set or skill level is. You don't even know until you really see a complete standard. And to do that, you need to get, I think 100 deals is when I started to really get like really comfortable and really get in my flow of things, which took about, I don't know, probably 3.5 months. So first 3.5 months is going to be a grind, but I'm saying probably at least 750 to $1,000 a week on leads. Schedule, I would say I'm having a lot of guys come in around 6:30, 7, and they're leaving at around 5 to 6. And yeah, it's gonna suck, but we're setting ourselves up for the future to change our trajectory completely and to exit and to do all this or build a team and makes X amount of money. So it's worth it in the short term for sure.
Yeah, man, I gotta say, we were showing up to the office at 7:30, 7:40 every day, and I'm walking in, I'm like, shoot, dude, I feel like I'm late. So everybody's already been here for 2 hours. Like,
Uh,
but I love the culture and I love the standards. And so guys with the bright there, and nobody's in the office is groggy either, is what I noticed. Like
Yeah,
people are
no, we're all
there, they're
the
sharp,
same.
they're in
Yeah,
a good mood and just fired up to help families,
100%.
which is how it should be.
Coffee, Zen, sunlight, key to success.
Amen. Those are the three pillars to
True.
wealth right there. Ronnie, talk to us about, I don't know if well, actually, we've had a conversation. I know you have. Talk to us about the agent that comes in and they blame the leads or they blame this or that, or they're just simply not coachable.
Yeah. I see that as a victim mentality, and I kind of nip it in the bud pretty ASAP. If they're blaming the leads, then maybe we need to look at your current lead spend or your lead source. If you're buying 5-year-old leads, yeah, they're probably going to tell you to fuck off 24/7, and then you're going to get that little silver lining every once in a while. So if they're complaining about leads, then let's up the lead spend to more fresher leads. If they're complaining about what was the other ones?
Just not coachable. You
Not
tell them something and they'll keep doing the same thing they were doing before.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably just tie it back into the why, as in obviously we have multiple leaders, and sometimes I will admit maybe my coaching style isn't the best, but that's why I can lean on to Kyle, Jake, Turner, so they can potentially get some other coaching. But if it's not coachable with all four of us, then dude, this industry probably isn't for you, or you need to do a lot more personal growth where you're able to implement what we're saying so you can be successful. Because that's all we really want is for you to make money so we can all win. That's it. So if there's a coachability issue, then they should probably need to look internally and drop ego and just listen. And if they can't do that, then
Man,
it might be not the industry for them for now.
man, that's so true. It was on the plane ride back, I was listening to a Jocko Willink podcast, and Chris Williamson asked him, how do you build confidence? And he had a very interesting opinion on that. He said, well, the first step towards building confidence is having the humility to understand that, hey, I don't know. Because I think a lot of people just, they come in and they're like, try to figure out themselves or don't want to admit that they don't know. But you do have to have a certain level of humility when you come into this business. Check your ego out the door. Because if you don't, this business will humble you real quick. And
Mhm.
so, but then also, and I was actually, I was talking to Ian about this last week when I was with you guys. Ian said, hey, dude, the reason I was able to hit the ground running and have so much success right off the bat in this business is because I put in so much work in towards personal development the year prior coming into this opportunity. I can speak for myself as well, where I had been working on myself year and a half prior, just fitness, the gym, reading, personal development books, going to church, praying Bible, like all of that. Because the three pillars of success is mind, body, spirit. And if one of those is unaligned, if maybe you're not as consistent in the gym with your fitness, you're not taking care of your body, you're not putting good foods in your body, well, dude, that's going to reflect into your business. Or if your spiritual life is out of whack, same thing and vice versa. And so anytime an agent's in a rut or he's struggling, I ask him, how's your spiritual life? How consistent are you in the gym? and typically one of those aspects is lacking. And so making sure that those are all aligned as well is going to directly correlate over the results in this business, because this is a results-based business and you have to perform. If I worked at Wendy's and I had low energy and I was in a shitty mood, I go there and I'm making the exact same. I'm making the exact same amount of money, regardless of what mood I'm in. And I can do my job. But this is, you have to have a clear mindset and a clear path towards what you need to do. So what advice do you give to just speak on staying level, staying consistent, not riding the highs and not riding the lows?
Yeah, I think it comes from versatility in your life, as in what you're saying, the three pillars. For me, it's routine, and that routine entails I'm waking up, I'm going to the office, I'm working midday, I'm taking maybe a gym break so I can clear my mind, recoup, come back, hit the ground running again, dialing or taking care of agents. And then when I get home, I'm meal prepping, I'm cleaning, I'm making sure everything's ready to go for the next day, and then that's it. And then on the weekends for recharge, I'm doing something physically. I'm either going to church, I'm going on a run, I'm going to the gym, I'm doing things that charge my battery. And you have to be self-analytical enough to understand what recharges your battery, because that looks different for everybody. Hanging around solid people, people who are not taking energy, they're giving energy. Um, I think those things are super key, and people overlook them. Like that daily walk that you might implement on your in your day before you hop into a big appointment, or you're feeling really bad because you just got told no 4 times. Go take a walk, go get some sunlight, go clear your mind, listen to some frequencies or something. Just reset. And I think that creating some versatility within your schedule, but everything aligns with what your goal is, and your why and your mission in insurance or in life, I think that would create more of a clear mindset. And then there was a question.
Do you meditate?
Occasionally, I probably should more, but I definitely do sit down. I would say probably once a week. Probably should do it more daily, but once a week I'll do a 10-minute session of just trying to really clear my mind, as in not think about anything. But that's, as if you've ever meditated, you know that that's hard as the hardest thing to do. So trying to control the all the thoughts for sure.
Yeah, and Vivian, he asked a really good question, but I want to add something before we get to his question, where you just schedule consistency. Obviously, putting in the work is so important. But I was having a conversation with an agent yesterday that's struggling. He got into a rut, and I said, first of all, well, you're in a rut because you haven't been consistent with your business. You need to be consistently showing up every day. But I also told him, I said, hey, bro, next Sunday, what I want you to do is just completely reset. Like, we're gonna consistent schedule this week. We're gonna grind this week out, and Sunday, I want you to earn it. And I don't want you to think about life insurance. I don't want you to think about work, do anything. Just shut off your brain. Because also having a reset day and having things outside of this and having one day where you can really mentally recharge that battery, that's important as well.
100%.
But Fabian asked, he said, how do you maintain a clear mindset when you run into a rut?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of go back to the Matthew McConaughey method. If anybody have ever read Green Lights or heard of it, essentially what he used to do is, while you're in the good, while you're doing everything good and your life is great, you're still writing down your habits and what you're doing. And if anything falters or goes off of that, just go back to what your routine was when life was perfect, and try to follow that routine. It's almost like what Gabe Erickson was saying when he was at the conference. This is the beginning of the sale, this is the end of the sale, and this is a straight line of what that sale looks like. And if anything is faltering, if it's going up, if it's going down, get back on that straight line, whatever that looks like. So it's different for everybody. But for me specifically, I like the gym. That's my thing. That definitely clears my mind. That's my meditation. Also going on a walk or going on a really long run, doing something hard, like a 10-mile run, really like pushing myself, and somehow the world just disappears when I do hard shit. So I would say that's how I clear my mind, which obviously isn't applicable to everybody, but it's what works for me.
Yeah, and figure out what works for you. That's what's important. what, Ronnie, let me ask you this. What motivates you and keeps you going on a high level now that you are consistently making money?
Honestly, I can't even really fully answer that. I have no idea where this drive comes from. I really don't know. I just like to do cool shit. I feel like a lot of my friends outside the industry as well are also very successful, and I feel like I'm the little fish. So maybe it is just to be as cool as them or do some like cool stuff, but I just like I'm getting so much fulfillment, and this is what's really keeping me. It's not even about like what I'm trying to get to, it's about how I feel right now too. Yes, I have goals and I want to hit X amount of money and make X amount of money, but why I'm staying is because I'm super fulfilled and I have never been fulfilled like this before, as in specifically being a leadership role, as well as being able to have people come to me and they're directly correlated to uh, I'm directly correlated to their success, and that's a different feeling. When you're able to see all your friends win and have everybody that you love around you and everybody's having a good time, that's the life right there. That's the dream.
I agree. I agree. That's a good answer. Last question for you, and then we'll open it up for a Q&A for everybody. What's your personal production and your team goal by the end of this year or December 2025?
I don't want to drop anything below 30K issue paid for my personal production. We'll see what that looks like, but definitely team volume. I want to hit 400K team volume by the end of the year. Um, that's where I need to be because I feel like next year it's going to double. So I think 400K and then the next year after that 800K. And to get that, I need to make sure all my boys are right and everybody's winning. And some months might require more attention to my agents, and I'm okay with that. But I think there's going to be a consistent standard of nothing less than about 30K.
So President's Club,
If that's President's Club, I'm not the best with math.
President's Club's 400. Yes, sir.
No problem.
So and just a reminder, we're doing a President's Club cruise. So anybody that hits President's Club 2025, we're doing a cruise. And I haven't talked to Claudia about this, but we might switch it to a trip to Dubai
That'd
with
be
the
nuts.
boys, depending on how many people hit it. So
BB.
regardless, we're doing something dope. So hope to see y'all on there.
Yeah, that'll be fire.
But we're going on over 30 minutes here, so let's open it up for a Q&A. Any questions you have, drop them in the chat or feel free to unmute.
That's crazy. That's all you, bro.
What's up, guys?
What up, AJ?
So I haven't even gotten contracted yet. So my question is because I have previous experience with life insurance. The people I was with before had a prehistoric style of getting leads. So for me, it's like I had this struggle of, okay, it's not that I'm not able to talk to people, it's I don't have enough people to talk to. So my question is, how many people a day should I dial to get to as quick as possible 10K a week?
Everybody's learning curve is different, so we're gonna see your standard once you get in with us. But I would say that same standard of getting you started with $300 a day, maybe even 400, which isn't crazy. It's like I would say 5 hours of deep work. And then making sure we're getting those contacts because dials are cool, but contacts are cooler. And then how many dials are we getting? And then how many contacts are we getting? So roughly around 35 contacts. And then how many FIs are we getting into? How many times are we able to present and show numbers, which realistically it should be a 1-to-1 for FI to close because you should be building value in the FI, which I'll teach you. And then obviously how many closes to actually applications submitted. But I would say that same standard, realistically. I mean, Jonah, what do you think?
You really have to, like what Ronnie said, you just have to see the numbers. For now, just focus on dials. Conversations are more important. So the blueprint for every agent, first 90 days, $300 a day or 5 presentations, whatever comes first. So very simple, but not easy. If you're using Kixie, you want to have between 30 to 50 conversations a day. Is really the magic number to hit. And so once you have a few weeks of consistent numbers, you can see your numbers, figure out your goals, simply reverse engineer them backwards and figure out what you want to hit. But first 90 days, 8 to 8, or if you're running their schedule, 6 to 6, whatever the case may be. But that's the blueprint. And then based on your skill set, goals, whatever the case may be, then we can tailor in your schedule from there. Jenny
Perfect.
asked,
Thank you.
what do you look? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jenny asked, what do you look for when recruiting new agents?
Yeah. So I'm looking for more specific qualities in guys. Now, a lot of that is going to come from outside of insurance, such as other discipline within their lifestyle or how they carry themselves or how they interact, because this is a people's industry. Now, I don't I'm not realistically, I'm not in the business of just giving anybody a chance. I've definitely rejected a lot or had on calls where I'm like, this probably isn't the best fit for me right now. Um, but realistically, I can speak to more towards the gym. For example, I've actually recruited majority of my guys from the gym or just from out and about and basic rapport. Because at bare minimum, if you can, let's say, have a standard or a disciplined routine that's allowing you to go to the gym and have some sort of physique or this and that, then you can sit down on the phone and dial and make 10 grand or 20 grand. Like it's pretty universal. I'm looking for plug and play. I don't want to teach mindset. I want to have somebody who already has a built mindset and I can just show them a skill to make them more money.
Yeah, we have the sales skills. We have the sales skills, the product knowledge, but what we cannot instill is hunger and work ethic. You either have it or you don't. Ronnie, it's on that same vein. We went to dinner on Saturday, and it's funny. You're like, you just go out in public, you're just recruiting everybody, bro. Like you're talking to the server, you're recruiting the server. So talk to us about that. About just what are the track words you use, or what's your approach? Just you meet somebody, like let's say I'm sitting at a restaurant and I'm your server. How do you go about recruiting me?
Yeah. Jonah, you like your job?
It's all right. I mean, pays the bills.
What do you like about it?
Um, I like the flexibility, and I like
Okay.
making money.
Yeah. How much are you making if you don't mind me asking?
I'm making about 90 a year now.
Year. Okay. Now, do you see yourself making 90 grand a year for the next 10 years, or would you be interested in hearing an opportunity where you can have a flexible schedule like you already have, but make a lot more money?
No, I definitely don't. I'm trying to figure out a way to make more money.
Yeah, for sure. So it sounds like you
90's not cutting it.
I'm sorry, what was that?
90 ain't cutting it.
Yeah, 90's not cutting it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. Anything less than 100K in Scottsdale is damn near poverty. Um, but yeah, dude, here's my Instagram or my number. Go ahead and shoot me a DM or shoot me a text, or I'll send you a text a little bit later, and then I'd love to hop on a call or even just come into the office, bro. I want you to see the vibe of what we got going on, and then I can just talk about the basics of what it even looks like. I'll even send you 3 videos. So before you come in or before we hop on that call, you can go over those videos. And if it's still something that you're interested in, dude, shoot me a text. I'll take care of you.
Boom.
Super.
Very nonchalant.
Yeah, I keep it super easy. It's really about the approach too. It's how you say things. But it's also just not being afraid to just talk about money in front of people. People are so, oh, I don't want to give out or da 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 or say how much I make. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll show you my bank statements right now. Like you just
Yep.
gotta be super transparent and super authentic because I think transparency equals authenticity. So that's how I do it. I'll tell you how it is, and it's been working. So
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Ronnie, I appreciate you hopping on today, pouring back in the team, and dude, I'm really excited to see what you guys do over the coming 6 months, year, and et cetera. You guys got something really special going on down there in Scottsdale.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
So absolutely. Have a blessed week, everybody.
See ya.